think this is working now. Morning everyone. This is another full session video. Might get broken up into two, might not. We'll see how it goes. This is an awkward one. It's the first exercise. It's a good enough angle for me. Right, my cherubs are awake, so I'll probably end up putting on some music fairly soon. I did get copyrighted on having music in the background on the second video, or part 2 of yesterday's, but I don't believe it's muted parts of the video. I should go back and watch it really, I'll just skim through and see if it did, but normally it's done that to me before, but it told me that it said there'll be no sound between here to here, so hopefully that won't happen today. Right, just do some warm-ups and then start lifting. I like to start with some bandy pull aparts when I'm working, doing a pressing day. As I say, at the moment I don't have a competition coming up directly. There is that possible maybe at the end of January, but what I'll probably do is alter my programming closer to that comp, and if I decide to go, I'll have my correct-ish prep for that comp. So obviously programs do change. Obviously strength is always the main focus for me. But I did say in the last one, in terms of my accessory work at the moment, it's very much more hypertrophy based. So 3 sets of however many reps, normally between the 10 to 12 range. This is just stretching out the triceps. Obviously triceps play a big part in your pressing. Right. Slightly thicker band now for the overhead pressy portion of the lift. Right. Yeah, do it again. I'm doing these strict, so no pressing at the bottom, no leg drive. Even though the very first exercise does include a bit of leg drive. Well, it's not leg drive. Well, no, it is, I suppose. Because you've got 2 main portions for a floor to overhead exercise, irregardless of the implement. Well, depending on your style of doing it, you might have 3. I suppose technically I've got 3. With a log, I've got 3. Lifting lap, so that's where you sort of like bring it up, hold it, then go down into a lap, which is what I am doing at the moment. Doing it in sort of like done, done, done. At the moment, is slightly ski whiff for me, which is something I can work on later. It's off-putting. There's a tiniest split-second-ish of delay on here, so it's throwing me off a little bit. Right, well, first I'm going to be working on my cleans. 4 sets of 5 reps. Yeah. Whether sleeves are needed or not, I suppose it depends on the person. Personally, I do them at the moment, just focusing on joint stability. However, there's always a chance you may find yourself relying more on your equipment than necessary. However, that said, it all breaks down to the individual. I don't normally have much joint issues. Well, I've never had much joint issues, come to that. However, you do have to bear in mind, getting slightly older. And I think just sometimes just that little bit of mental stability I feel I have. Like, check the time. Kind of on the clock. Really want to be done before the school run. I haven't actually done any stretches on my legs. Oh, I'm going to do a couple because you do start. Obviously, you start with a floor to overhead, whether it's a log or an axle or a standard barbell. You do start at the floor. So it's just working on that bounce out. Hello. Right. Let's try and not knock a load of chalk all over the floor today. Don't know if anyone saw the last video I put out, but I was moving things between exercises and managed to whack a load of chalk all over the floor, which was not fun. I wouldn't say it got me in trouble. My missus was like, "Are you going to be hoovering up all that chalk now?" Yes. I'll make sure I empty the hoover. Right. Obviously the first round, first set, if there's any nerves, they're going to be there at this point. Right. obviously it's getting the log over your knees and down from your knees. Would be said that a barbell, be it standard or axle, standard I suppose, you can get your full hands gripped over it, would be by and large slightly easier than a log. What have we got the bar here? 60, I think. Which isn't a lot to a lot of people, which is fair enough. But you've got to get over that internal ego as well. Just sort of like remind yourself that if all you want to do is not fail when it comes to the comp, get at least 1 rep in. What you can lift for 5 reps, you should be able to lift, hopefully, a little bit more for 1 rep. So, right. As I said before on the other one, this first exercise, even though I'm running more of a hypertrophy based program at the moment, that very first exercise is still very much strength focused, so it can take a little bit longer to plough through. On that last rep, I don't know if you noticed the difference. After picking up, I went straight down into the lap, and yeah, I would say I felt the difference. But everyone's different. It's like some people will belt clean, some people will just hoist straight up. I tend to belt clean. Just if you need it, it gives you that few seconds. I won't say rest, but say something else. I suppose it is a rest. That pause, break the movement up. May put some music on in a minute. So, with a log as well, very much, well, again, I would feel it's a very explosive movement. movement. The cleaning portion of floor to overhead is very explosive. As such, I would say it, again for me anyway, it will get your heart rate up very quickly. I'm going to stick with my standard clean for now, which is obviously that little pause at the top. It's almost like you deadlift the bar up, log, deadlift the log up, dip down, hoist and twirl. So that's it. Another thing, in terms of blocks that I'm hoisting off, last competition I had, I actually had some 12-inch mats, or 12-inch blocks, whatever you want to call them, to either side. Nah, from what I've seen in most comps, televised ones I've seen, that is standard. I'm pulling off, I don't know, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 inches. So makes the lift, I suppose, in theory a little bit more difficult, having that extra pull from the floor. But with all hope, making it a tiny bit more difficult in prep can only help when the day of the comp gets there and you're hitting your numbers. That's the theory. Yes, very much I'd say feeling it a bit there, but you know, you're going to feel something eventually. This isn't that your natural, normal, everyday thing that we do. Let's see. Yeah. I'll probably whack some music on after this last rep of the strengthy related stuff. Yeah, whole body is feeling it. As I say, it's not a single body move. It's a floor to overhead. It's not just your shoulders. As you can see at the moment, while I'm not pressing, obviously my shoulders, once they get up there swinging, they're taking the weight. The real test on the shoulders is going to be the next exercise, which is some strict log pressing. I'm going to have to flip between screens to make sure I've got the right weight, because I can't remember what the next is. The next jump. Yeah, it'll all make sense. It will all make sense. It may also pause the video and then I'll have to start all over again. So, as you're all now intrigued by that notion, got to stay where we are and see where we go. Yeah, when I flip down look like there, that's because I'm checking the time. Right, last set. Right, I'm not going to lie, I'm glad that's over. Right, hoisting off the weights, slightly more boring segment. I'm going to flip this and we'll see if it messes up the video. What's going on? Right, so work it out. 45. Oh well, give it a go. Right, seems to still be running. Yes. That'd be a great intro for a song, wouldn't it? For a metal song, just the sound of weights coming off and clanging. That'd be really good on a log, because you know you've got that hollow after clang. Right. Does that mean I'm going to write a song now and include that as the intro? Possibly. The clang of the iron, or something like that. Whew. I've stripped off quite a bit of weight now, and I'm going to be doing some strict presses up the top. So, working the two portions of the floor to overhead with a log, and the actual last exercise I do is some floor to overhead singles, but we'll talk about them when we get to them. There's it. Really works your aerobic capacity. Quite a lot, that movement. So, depending on how explosive you perform a movement of any sort, the more it will take out of you. But I would say certainly in this, in terms of an overall, more like a full body movement, it will take the wind out your sails a lot quicker. I mean, yeah, of course deadlift's taxing. Again, especially if you're going explosively at it. But again, it's more lower body focused. You know, whether you're quad dominant or hamstring dominant in your deadlift, it still very much starts at the bottom and it doesn't go any further than here. So, well, personally, I find I don't feel as gassed out after deadlifts as I do after floor to overhead stuff. However, that could be because my pressing is a lot weaker than my deadlift. So, ooh. Just wait till I feel a little bit more refreshed and then get back on it. As I say, might chuck some music on in a minute just to mix it up. Or I might well cut this now and then do another video of the accessories just to keep the videos a tiny bit shorter. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to stop and start and see you in a second.